I'm Morgan.
I'm Anthony.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
Hi, I'm Brandon.
Hey, I'm Mel.
Hi, I'm Ben.
Hey, I'm Zay.
Hey everybody, I'm Javious.
Hi, I'm Ayden.
Hi, I'm Alex.
I have lived a privileged life. So Ben, you're the only one on strongly disagree. Why do you strongly disagree?
I feel like as somebody who didn't have a lot of resources economically, socially because of my skin color, and just coming from a conservative household that said that I wasn't supposed to fit the mold, I automatically was just at a disadvantage.
I would feel safe traveling alone. All right, we got one person on strongly agree, one person on strongly disagree. Ayden, why do you strongly agree?
Due to me being male, I don't have to be afraid to walk alone. I don't have to be afraid to travel alone. I don't have to carry any weapons or sprays or devices or alarms to let someone know I'm going to be safe. At max, what I need to do is tell someone where I'm at. I don't have a lot of the same issues a lot of other people do.
As an effeminate male, walking in public spaces at night freaks me out a lot. I have a lot of anxiety. I've had the, the zip tie around my car window before. So I don't really feel safe going anywhere by myself because I think it just makes you more of a target no matter who you are.
The U.S. is greater than all other countries in the world. Neutrals, why are you guys neutral?
There are a lot of countries a lot worse than America, but I mean, as much hard stuff as it is here, I would rather be here than anywhere else, I would say.
I would vote for a public official just because they look like me. Anthony, why do you disagree?
As the saying goes from my grandma or some other black folk, all skin folk and kin folk. So just because someone looks like me doesn't mean they have the same values as me. They may be a self-hating person, they may have values that I don't believe in separate from my identity. So
For women, I feel like there's a big underrepresentation for women in politics, so I wouldn't just blindly vote for any woman, but I just feel like I would be more likely to support a woman just because there's not enough support for women.
Well, I believe a lot of policy is made off of emotion, and emotion is made by experience. So I believe someone having the same or similar experience to me based on their looks or the way they perform in the public world kind of just has more, I don't know, it just makes me feel more seen, makes me feel more heard. I'm in the somewhat agree section because like you said, all skin folk are not kin folk, but visibility does matter. And I think, like she said, just having a woman in a position like that will encourage other women to be able to see that, I could get to this level. I could be a president or a vice president.
The government should not be responsible for health care.
As an economics major, there's a lot of things at play there that our country isn't. There's things that we're good about, there's also things that we're really bad about. Healthcare in the United States being privatized, and for what it's worth, it's awful. But there's a lot of other countries who are also awful with their healthcare, even though it is supported by the government. So I honestly don't know enough about the subject to make a strong opinion on it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's a lot that goes into healthcare that we don't really know about. So in order to like make a sound decision, I think you have to know more about it. But just based off of what I know, I would say I somewhat disagree because like you said, like if you're saying that the government is in control of it, that could mean that everyone gets the bare minimum, you know? So you really just have to like look at the situation from all different aspects.
Cancel culture is toxic.
With cancel culture, it happens a lot with celebrities, so I feel like accountability is very important. Because a lot of times celebrities just, like she was saying, just get brush stuff under the rug, and it's okay because you do it for your family, but now that you're being held accountable for what you're doing, other people start to realize like, oh, maybe that wasn't right, like maybe I shouldn't, be doing this, this, and this, and then it starts to, make a ripple effect. But a lot of times, well, sometimes that cancel culture can be bad because some people don't use it the right way.
I feel like cancel culture doesn't really exist, especially for men, because a lot of celebrities do things and then people say, okay, that was terrible, let's not support this person, and then their fans go and support them harder and they get more exposure. And it's not really effective at this point. People don't really get canceled. And then nobody's like to throw it around, well, they're gonna cancel me, and it's like, that's not how it works either. You can't get canceled if nobody knows it.
I think that cancel culture hurts the people that are most marginalized if they say a word out of place and ruins their both mental health and careers because they don't have a support system. And those that do need to be canceled, like these big celebrities are doing these atrocious things, don't get affected. So it's not just inefficient, it is actively harmful.
The government should not detain undocumented immigrants.
The reason I would somewhat disagree is because I think there has been like a broad stroke that has been painted over undocumented immigrants. Of course, there are people that are here seeking asylum, and the process for citizenship is extremely too hard, and it takes too long for someone to become a citizen, especially those seeking asylum. However, a lot of sex trafficking happens through undocumented immigration. There's a lot of crime that's brought, and I hate sounding like that kind of person, but there is a lot of crime that is brought over our borders. So I definitely think there needs to be a lot of reform around immigration. The process should be a lot easier for people who are trying to seek help. And then we also need to just change our language. I don't like the word undocumented. I don't like the word immigrant just because of the negative notations that have been put on it. But I definitely think there's a conversation to be had. But there are some situations where undocumented immigrants being detained would make America safer.
With undocumented immigrants coming to America, it allows them to be taken advantage of. Like, every day people are abused and neglected, and they can't go to anyone because if they do, they will be arrested. So it's just, there needs to be the proper channels to go through that so they aren't taken advantage of.
Like she was saying earlier, the country is built on immigrants, so I don't think it's fair to punish immigrants, especially when it's so hard to get here. And I would say most immigrants are here contributing to the country and many families, and it's just not fair when the process is so difficult. A lot of people are escaping hard things and violence from their home country, and so I think if they made it here, they should be allowed to have the chance to become a citizen, which is such a hard process, but I do think it should be an easier process, and there shouldn't be as much punishment and separation of families.
Like some other people have said, America is a country of immigrants. it's unfair to when those people came and were actively hurting the people who were already here, to now say, you guys can't come here, you don't do that anymore. And it shouldn't, when they come and they get hurt or when something happens, they shouldn't have to fear being penalized for that. They shouldn't have to fear going to get treated for something and then being sent back to the situation they tried so hard to escape.
Trans women should be able to compete in women's sports divisions.
So at first, I would say I kind of lean more towards their argument because when you think about the level playing field and all of that, like that really does make a convincing argument. But the definition of man and woman changes every single year. So if you want to technically make it a playing field, why not have the competition set up by hormone levels? So everyone who has this amount of estrogen will compete together. Everyone who has this amount of testosterone will compete. And when you do that, you will have people with penises competing with people with vaginas, and you will have the same thing on the other side. So I think this whole should trans people compete thing is more so transphobic because you're targeting a specific group of people as opposed to saying, hey, there's a woman with a lot of testosterone in her body, should she compete with men? No, you're not saying that. You're saying because this person is choosing to identify with this gender, they should be, alienated or called out.
I see this argument as just a leadway to why aren't trans women. It's not about the sports sometimes. It's not about what we think we're talking about. It's about the people that we're hurting. It's the reason why bathroom bills get into places and how we restrict trans people and want them to be exactly what we want them to be when it's really their decision. Personally, I want to go to a weight class system, but right now, this to me is purely a transphobic, radical feminist talking point.
Trans exclusionary feminist.
I had to think.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, especially from a diversity standpoint. It's just more or less like how the levels of play are there. It's just more like if I identify as this, it shouldn't really matter in a certain stance for me to be alienated in who I am. It's just who I am. That's all there is to it.
The presence of police officers make me feel safer.
I mean, it's obvious. I'm a straight white man. I don't really have something that a police officer might see and be like, you know what, that we're going to target this person. So as much as I don't like to say it, I do feel safe around police officers. But that's just because I am privileged to do that. Everybody should be able to have that privilege, though.
Well, I don't feel safe around police officers for the same reason I wouldn't trust my pediatrician to perform open heart surgery on me. A pediatrician takes care of the whole body, and someone who takes care of solely, a cardiologist will take care of solely open heart surgery. Police officers, there's not enough detail to what they're trained on. A hairstylist is trained longer than a police officer. So I just think they serve their purpose, they are tasked with keeping the peace, but their training is really just not there for them to effectively do their job for everyone within the constituency.
So I personally have not had any terrible experiences with cops, but I know a lot of people who have, and so when I hear their stories, I kind of take that in, and it does affect the way I see them. And I do know that cops are trained to handle reactionary things. They, They come after the crime has happened, they don't hold prevent crime.
A patient in need should be able to receive organ transplants regardless of their vaccination status.
There what status?
Vaccination.
Vaccination.
You as a doctor, as a medical professional, take that Hippocratic oath. It doesn't matter how they live their lives, whether that they are racists, rapists, pedophiles, it's your job in that moment to take care of them. Because that's not your place to judge them, even if you do disagree with their actions and decisions.
Yeah, like you said, I just come from a medical background, so we just drifted over here, but definitely the oath takes place there. It doesn't matter how they really feel about it, like if they want to be vaccinated, not want to be vaccinated. At the end of the day, that's their choice, that's their freedom, that's however they want to pursue that. So at the end of the day, I'm still going to take care of you. I'm still going to make sure I save your life. It don't matter if I don't agree with you. Like, I'm vaccinated. I don't really know if you're vaccinated or not. It's cool. I'm going to save your life either way.
The only reason I'm not in the strongly disagree is because there are people who can't get the vaccine. There are those who would be in the hospital themselves if they got it. However, there are those who simply choose not to get it because they believe as microchips or it's going to turn us into alien lizard people. So if there are those people out there who believe that those very, very radical ideas about the vaccine, then I don't think that they really should be, I don't know how to say this in the right way. I don't think that they should be getting the transplant because there's other people who also need that. And if they're taking the steps to protect their own body, then they should get the transplant instead of someone who is choosing not to based on easily disproved facts.
Well, first, I was thinking that it feels kind of wrong to deny somebody an organ that they might need over their beliefs. But then I was thinking that, somebody who doesn't get vaccinated puts other people at risk, whether they're vaccinated or not. And then I was thinking about some children of anti-vaxxers. Some of them don't get their first vaccine until they're 18, 19, 20, and it wouldn't be fair to them to not be able to get an organ because their parent didn't let them get vaccinated. However, if they are an adult choosing not to take care of their body, that organ could go to somebody else.
That is all the questions we have today.
Thank you so much.